like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. Netflix time. This series is called Hit and Run. The first season is 9 episodes. They range about 50 minutes apiece. Spoiler alert. Episode 1, let's get it. So the first thing we see is this guy, man, name is Sir Kev. He's locked up in jail, touring around the yard and all that. But what's this? Niggas bumping to him, they got beef. And then before he even knows it, some dude comes up out of nowhere and starts giving him the whiffling, and he gets beat to a bloody mess. Then we go back to Israel 3 weeks earlier. This is his girlfriend, Danielle. She's involved in interpretive dance and stuff like that. He's also got a daughter by the name of Ella. That's not Danielle's daughter, though. Her mother is actually Clev's first wife before he met Danielle. So anyway, he's been feeling some type of way because Danielle's got a job opportunity in New York to do dancing. But she tries to reassure him it's probably nothing and she'll be back in a week. Next day, they got the taxi out. She's getting ready for a trip. But then she gets a text or a mysterious caller talking about, why are you ignoring me? Who is this? And we don't know who's calling her, but she looks concerned. Anyway, she's getting ready to go to the airport and Caleb's getting ready to go to work. And they both go in different directions. But as Caleb's leaving, he sees somebody. He notices somebody out there in the parking lot. This guy just sitting there talking about he waiting for somebody. But who's he waiting for? He don't think twice about it. Goes about his business. He goes to drop his daughter Ella off at school, who's listening to some randomly provocative music. So you know Dad gotta hit her with the old school classics. So after he drops her off, we find out that he uses that same car for a tourist guide. And basically shows people around the city of Israel. Meanwhile, Daniel goes back to her studio to give this girl a letter. He's gotta give her some letter talking about he owes her. But what does he owe her? What does she owe him, I mean? And who is this guy she's talking about? Later on, she goes to the bakery and she gets 2 coffees, one for her and one for the driver. Then she gets a random text message from the unknown caller again, talking about we need to talk. So she gets those coffees and she's about to head to the driver. Then all of a sudden, she gets hit out of nowhere by an oncoming car. And on top of that nigga didn't even stop, he just kept on going. Damn, she bleeding on top of it, she's all the way fucked up. Meanwhile, Caleb's still doing his tour work, and he gets the phone call from the taxi driver. He rushed over to the hospital with the family and friends, but unfortunately, she didn't make it. Then later on, he makes a phone call to this guy named Martin. I'm not sure who he is to Danielle exactly. Then he's mad that the police just standing around not doing their job. Then this lady named Tally shows up. Apparently, she's a family member to Danielle, probably her sister. So he asks her for help on this case. And I'm thinking to myself, why specifically her for this case? Turns out her profession, she's actually a detective. So there you go. I thought detectives couldn't work on cases connected with family. Apparently they do things different in Israel. Well, anyway, they get video footage of everything that happened. It turns out the car belongs to some shipping company and it was stolen today. And she thinks a guy by the name of Rami was behind the wheel. And Rami's supposed to be a part of the biggest crime family in Israel, so that's another cap to the hat. Then we get a scene where Caleb's driving in the car and he has like a flashback to when Danielle was riding with him. Talking about hopes and dreams, going to beaches, all that fun stuff. But in actuality, what he was really doing was picking up his daughter and telling her everything that happened today. Meanwhile, Tally and the boys are going to hunt down Rami. And I found out in this scene she was holding her stomach. Apparently she's pregnant. And there's that nigga Rami with the yarmulke on his head. Bottom line, it turns into a police chase. And after some mayhem, she ends up catching him on the highway. So he's trying to claim he didn't have nothing to do with the car. He was handling business today. And they found him with $400,000 and 2 things of grenades in his car. Now I can see if they got all the information tied up to thinking that he did it. But I'm thinking to myself, that guy that's part of a crime family that's carrying about $400K and some grenades on him, I'm thinking he would be a little bit more careful than to accidentally have a random hit and run, right? Maybe he was just being careless, but considering his responsibilities, I think that's highly unlikely. All the people at Caleb's house to mourn the loss of Danielle. And Tally comes by to give him a briefing about the things that happened today. She tells him that they got Rami in custody, he's the culprit. And he's thinking the same thing I'm thinking. A guy like that would be that careless, but he's in a crime family. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? Nevertheless, everybody leaves and he puts Ella to bed. But Tally did bring by all of Danielle's things, including her phone. And she's had a bunch of missed calls. But from who? Then we get a scene from this guy. Apparently he's running a corporation. Wait a minute, that was the same guy that was outside of his house earlier. The guy he was talking to when Danielle was about to go to the airport. Turns out his name is Yasaf. And this is the guy that's been calling Danielle and the one that was sending the text messages and stuff. So now Sir Cleve knows and he wants Tally to run a trace on the daggone phone number. Then we find out when he goes home, he's got a wife too. So what the hell was he doing calling Danielle? Apparently he was out of the loop because he just found out what happened to Danielle as they were both watching the news. Then we get this flashback to when Caleb was dropping off Danielle one day. Then it turns out when she was going to the spot, she was having rendezvous with Yasaf. What's going on in this twisted triangle of love? Turns out everybody doing dirt. Caleb is the only good guy. Then he's walking around his apartment. Some master sailor attacks him out of nowhere, but he breaks his neck and gives her the whiffling. Done deal dead as shit. He rips off the mask. Who is this guy? We don't know. But apparently he was taking pictures of him and Danielle. So he gets his daughter Ella and they get the fuck up out of there. He takes her to her mom's house. He gotta go handle business. But when he goes back to his house, after he already called the police to let him know what's up, the body's gone. Where the hell did it go? And now the police are coming. We got ourselves a mystery. And that's episode 1 for you, appropriately entitled Hit and Run. Hit and Run on Netflix. Check it out. Like, click, subscribe, do all that. You already know what time it is. Like, easy, all the easy business. Big. You got the slogan.